Welcome to Geek Philosophy. Today's video is going to be the second part to our Batman, the Four Sons, and the Inheritance videos. Today we're going to talk about the two younger brothers of the Robin clan, and that is Tim Drake and Damien Wayne. Now, in the last video we talked about Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, and if you want to see that video, I do have a link down the bottom so you can catch that video before you finish this one. Alright? So, let's get into it. So, Tim Drake is, FYI, my favorite Robin, and he is different from the other ones. He was introduced in 1989 and has had a run of 20 years as Robin, ending his career in 2009. Tim Drake is different from the others, and the reason why he's different is because his backstory isn't as tragic as the others. Now, granted, his story does develop and become tragic after he meets Batman, but before Batman, it's pretty much a basic, raised in Gotham, parents were alive, no deaths yet. And he was different because he actually found out, he used his intelligence and found out who Batman and Robin were. So much that he found out who Batman was, identified Batman as Bruce Wayne, knew that there was two Robins, one Dick Grayson and the other Jason Todd. And he pretty much went to, and there's origin story, he went to Dick Grayson asking him to come back to be Robin because Batman had changed after the death of Jason Todd. After that, Batman decided to go solo, and it did affect him. It made him more brutal, more brooding. So Tim originally asked Dick to come back as Robin. Dick at this point had developed himself as Nightwing, so there was really no going back for him. He had established himself as a superhero in his own right, and especially in Bloodhaven. So, what did Tim Drake do? He said, hey, if I can't get the old Robin to come back, well, I'll be the Robin. And originally, Batman was not fond of this idea. He was still depressed and brooding over his biggest failure, which was Jason Todd, and didn't want to put any other young child or young minor in the crosshairs again. But Tim was determined. Showing that his intelligence and his detective skills, he went through Batman's really grueling training schedule to make him a fit Robin. And in that process, his graduation was pretty much saving Batman himself from the Scarecrow. And that's when Batman decided, hey, you know what, I'll take you in as Robin. So Robin did hold the mantle all the way until 2009, and he actually lost the mantle to Damien Wayne, and he became Red Robin. But he still was a great asset to Red Robin, even though they did several different outfit changes from the classic Red Robin look, which appeared in Kingdom Come, and then also going to New 52 look, and then also changing again into the new Rebirth look, where he goes back to his original costume but just has a double R on his emblem. But nevertheless, then we see Damien Wayans really take over the reins. And honestly, he became one of the best Robins. Dick Grayson definitely had his charisma. Jason Todd definitely had his angst. But Jason Todd, he was really a good partner for Batman to match his intelligence and help him along. His fighting skills weren't better than Dick or Jason, but when it came to true detective work, he was there. He was pretty much that Watson to Sherlock Holmes. So that's one of the things that I feel like Tim Drake really embodied, was the intelligent aspect. Out of all the Robins, he is the smartest with the highest IQ, and he was able to determine who the superheroes were with just by going off of skills and clues instead of finding out by being adopted or having them pull off the mask. So that was something different that they did with this Robin, and really showed the embodiment of intelligence. But there's another part that he inherited from Batman too, and that was his sense of depression. Now, Tim Drake was, I think, one of the best Robins. Even leading the team of his own generation of Teen Titans with Superboy, Wonder Woman, and Kid Flash, along with Cyborg and Starfire. But when he did run the team, he found out he had a dark future in his path. and that was one of the story arcs, Titans of Tomorrow, where you see that Tim Drake actually inherits the Crow and becomes Batman. And in that point, when he's Batman, he takes on a more darker approach where he actually does use a gun. That's something that the original Batman would never do. But Tim really embodies that sense of depression from taking over the Crow, and you see talks over and over again with his future self on how depressing and dark it is to be the Batman. And he carries that along with him, even into the new Rebirth storylines. He actually wants to get out of the superhero life and go to Ivy Town School, University, which is a Ivy League school. He has a full ride, but as of course his heroism always kicks in, always putting others before himself, and he does overcome that. But there's still a sense of depression when it comes into the superhero community, especially with interaction with some of the other Robins, especially his fights with Jason Todd and Damian Wayans. So then we move on to Damian Wayans, who took over the mantle back in 2009. Now, he was originally introduced in 2006 by Grant Morris as the son of the Damien, the son of the Bat. It's a little bit of a transitioning point for Batman. He's fathered a lot of 3 children at this point, and this was the one that he actually is his biological son. And with that being his biological son, Damon had a lot of arrogance with that and really kind of nitpicked at the other Robins, saying, hey, look, y'all are pretend sons. I'm the real deal. Now, being the son of both Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Talia al Ghul, which was the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, one of Batman's greatest nemesis, it was an interesting point of lineage between a great villain and a great hero. So with Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, being Damien's grandfather, and him training Damien to be the next leader of the League of Assassins, he had a rough upbringing. Pretty much to the point he can crawl to where he is at this point. He's been trained as an assassin, and Batman takes him in, or Damien finds him, and then Batman pretty much takes him in to change that moral compass. He's been trained as an assassin, just whatever the mission do, get it done, to a point where the same style, but don't kill anybody. And with a Robin carrying around 2 katanas, that might be a little hard. But Batman does transgress this and gets him to that point. The things that Damien really inherited from his father was, I like to call it 2 things. One, his pride. Now, normally I've been starting off every inheritance with a good thing. Pride can be a good thing. It's too much pride where it gets you. Because pride also lets you know your self-worth. And that's what Damien definitely has. This one thing he doesn't have is he doesn't have self-doubt. He knows his self-worth. Now, where the other part where it gets him in trouble is that pride turns into arrogance. And that's where you see a lot of people talk about too much pride, and that being one of the 7 deadly sins. Too much pride or arrogance will make you standoffish and make you feel like your self-worth is that much more compared to other people. So, again, when he was introduced to the other Robins, he definitely put it out there like, hey, I am better than you. I've been this, I've been that, and I'm his son. Like, y'all are just pretenders. So that aspect of Damon definitely makes it one of his inheritance of a negative. But at the same time, it also gets readers liking him, almost like a Vegeta type character. When we see Vegeta on Dragon Ball Z, get angry, all about his pride, arrogant, and trying to be the best, that's kind of Damon. He's always trying to be the best, trying to always one up on somebody. He's the one kid that goes into the Justice League and like, yeah, I can beat all of you, and say that with a straight face to Superman, Batman, and Aquaman. So, with that being said, these are the 4 inheritances that the 4 Robins have really taken on. And they kind of help mold Batman just as much as Batman molds them. Again, with his publication history of over 75 years, and almost 90% of that being with a Robin, it's hard hard to see Batman without Robin. It's a dynamic duo for a reason. And I hope, and I really, this is more of a message for Hollywood, I really hope you understand that. You need a Robin. It's been very difficult for Hollywood to try to get that measuring, that balance between a good Robin and a good Batman. So they've been just focusing on the Batman, just taking away the Robins after, especially after Batman, Robin, and Batman Forever. But it's time to really look back at it and get a really good Robin next to Batman. Pretty sure if we do that, you will see why the publication history has been the way it is. You'll see sales for that movie skyrocket. I'll be getting tickets now if you tell me, hey, I got a good Robin in the Batman movie. But that's my time. That concludes part 2 of this video. Thank you for stopping by Geek Philosophy. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, put your philosophies in the comments, and also hit that subscribe button so you can be notified of all future videos. Thanks for stopping by Geek Philosophy, the geek way of thinking.